There he is. Two of me. Can you hear two of me? I can hear music. I know you can hear music. I can hear two of me, but that's probably because I need to mute myself over there. There we go. How's that? How's that? That's what they say in the old cricketing terms, ain't it? Good to have you back on air. Thank you, Fibs. Guten Abend to you, mein super Freund. You can hear me now. Thank you, Unitrix. How is it? Is it kind of the one voice? Or is it many, many voices? Just checking the ducking as well. Got a new playlist. For the longest time, I was using the services of Monster Cat, which was a superb service, and I was very, very pleased to have it for 6 months. But my super discount rate for 6 months ran out, so I didn't want to pay 15 quid a month. So instead, we have this. What do you think, guys? How's the mix? Let me know. Let me know if you're hearing me okay, the music's too loud. I can adjust. I can adjust to the situation. I really can. I'm going to turn down a little bit. Good to see you. I hope you had a good week while I was away. I did fully intend to stream, but truth was the Wi-Fi wasn't great. Timings didn't really work out too well, and I was just enjoying the chill, as you do. You know how it goes. You've all been on holiday in the past, on vacay. I'm quite happy I don't hear many voices. Yeah, I know. It's good, isn't it? How are you guys? That's about the 5th time I've said that, but I'm learning my craft from our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who he likes to repeat things loads of times. That's what he does. It's his craft, because he's cack. The exclamation mark win is, of course, in full swing. But so far, only Dorrigan and Rockmouth have sneaked in a couple of entries. So get in there and do it. Get in. Of course, if you're members, you're in anyway. But there's always a chance. Phipps has got in there. Well done, Phipps. Rouster as well. How are you, Adam? Good. Yeah, so anyway, as you can see, sans the facial hair, I just fancied a change. It's all right, isn't it? It's all right. Huh? See, the thing is in the very, very recent past, when I was carrying a few extra pounds, without the beard, I just kind of have this pelican neck. You know, like the pelican neck when a pelican has just grabbed a shoal of fish. That's what I was wearing, you see. But now it's gone and I've got definition, and I'm quite proud, quite pleased is what I am. Roostray, look at that. We have a French rouster. Let me just find out why this is whipping through at a rate of knots. It should allow you 20 seconds to get your message and leave your message on stream and screen. I've been away from the tech for so long. Right, let me have a look and see what's going on here. Showtime equals 20,000, which is 20 seconds. So I'm not sure what's going on. Tell you what I'll do. I'll take it out completely, and then let me just pop one on there. Looks pretty good. Thank you, my friend. And what we will do is we'll see... Oh, Phipps, thanks for gifting a membership, you lovely human being. Woohoo! And PyCon Fusion. Join Team Rock. Yes! Nice one. How's the... Hey, I got some news on the ROG Ally, Neil. For the first time in a long time, I've actually put a little playlist together. Stuff that I'm going to talk to you about. I'll get to the Ally. Starting at the top, new music. We know this. What do you think? Let me know what you think of the new music. It's about a 2-hour playlist. So it's not going to play randomly. You're going to hear the same music every day, but I might do a couple of variations. We'll see. But it's free to play, and that's the key. That's the important thing. I don't want to be paying for it. What else we got on my list here? Oh, yes, I completed Dead Island 2 today. Woohoo! I tell you what, I was super duper duper impressed with that game. It's freaking awesome. And thank you to those of you, including you, my good friend Dorrigan, who popped in and watched me play a couple of hours on Twitch earlier. I was playing in God mode. I was completely and utterly invincible. I've decided this is the way I want to play games from now on. I'm not interested in the challenge. I shall leave that to you younger folk. Hey Al, how are you, dude? What I like to do is I just like to bang through the game. So there I was playing God mode with complete and utter invincibility. Actually, it's still, I tell you, because here's the story, right? So I had got about 80% of the way through the game and I'd come across a boss which was causing me much consternation. And I thought, what am I going to do? I know. There's bound to be a way to play God mode. Indeed, there was. But I couldn't carry across I had to download the game, and I couldn't carry across my saves because I've been playing it on GeForce. So I thought, I'll just play it again from the start. So I started up with a new character, and I finished the whole game in about 4 hours. But it's great. It's such a great game. It really is a good game. Amongst all the Diablos and the Final Fantasies and little, it's not I don't think it necessarily got the love it deserved, but it is such a great game. Adam, I have some good and some bad news. So my good news is I finished Evil Dead 2. And I have the 2-hour Twitch of me in God mode. I ported it over to YouTube, so from Twitch. So it's actually there live now, 2.5 hours. I would, if you're going to watch it, and why wouldn't you? I would bang it forward about half an hour. The first half an hour was a bit boring. Oh, good, it's now fully scaled. That's the problem. I had to record using the Shield Pro, which is, as you guys know, it's fixed at 720. It doesn't look too bad. I've seen worse, to be honest. But you want to get to some of the areas where there's impossible levels of enemies, and it's just mayhem. There's no chatting. There's no mic. I didn't feel up for it at this point of the day, but it's there. It's all good. So that was the good news. Here's the bad news, Adam. I've sent Diablo back. I'm sorry, all you lovers of Diablo. I played it for a week. I played it for an hour or two every day for the last week. So I took my PlayStation on holiday, right? As well as my Switch, true. And I played it every day, and I was really, really, really wanting to love it because I could see the love from you guys and how much you were enjoying it and everything. And I thought it's got to get into me at some point. I've got to really feel this. But honestly, I had more fun running around killing zombies in God mode, and I didn't actually die that often. I was a necromancer with my little army of skeletons, and they were doing a lot of the work for me, and it was all good. But I got back, when did we get back? Saturday, and I fired it up again, and I thought, I can't be bothered. So I popped it back in this little envelope. I'm working on the principle that it will come to one of my streaming services, whether it's Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or wherever. It'll eventually come, and then I'll pick it up again, and maybe I'll be in a different mood and I'll love it then. But I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry, and I know you guys have really, really enjoyed it, and I don't mind top-down games, as you know. I love the Ascent, but it just didn't kind of float my boat. Hey, Reaver, Mr. Reaver the Beaver, I understand congratulations are in order, my friend. I was there throwing confetti in Cornwall, whence I was for a week. I was throwing confetti around the place, telling people, my good friends of mine have just got married. How amazing. It's got to be the shortest romance I've ever heard of. Wow. Hope it's going well, though. I hope you're still absolutely enjoying married bliss. And looking forward to finding out more. How cool is that? And Reva the Beaver has joined the contest. That's good. My wife said hi. Hi, Crystal. Bless you both. How fantastic is that? It just genuinely warms the cockles of one's heart. Do it not. I don't know what the next game will be that will be coming. I've got Final Fantasy 16 is at the top of my list, but I have not been able to get the demo on PS5 to work on my PS5. I genuinely do not understand it. I installed it, I ran it, it froze, it went to the error menu. I uninstalled it, tried again. I tried it by changing a few video settings and all sorts of stuff. I tried a different HDMI lead in case it wasn't happy with HDCP or whatever. Nothing. In the end, I thought, and I genuinely must have spent hours trying to get this to work. So in the end, I thought, I'll wait till I get home, because maybe the PlayStation just isn't happy and it wants to be back in its place, its rightful place. And then I tried again, and the same thing. I just cannot get it to work. I've Googled it. There's a couple of messages saying that there's a very, very, very rare instance of it not happening. Thing is, if I couldn't get other games not to work, I'd put it down to a hardware failure. But I have no issues and have had no issues with any other games. I mean, even right now, I'm able to play anything on there. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima again yesterday. I have no idea what the issue is. It has to be the game. And I don't know what it is. I have Gen 1 PS5. It's not in a dusty environment. It's actually behind a TV by a vent in the wall, and there's no smoking or vaping or anything in the house. So I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all. So anyway, I've got it on rent. So when it eventually turns up, I'll see if it works or not. But isn't that weird? Absolutely weird, and I have no idea. Couldn't find anything across the net. Nobody was having a similar issue or had any kind of... The only article that I found said clean your fan. And this was Capcom, and it was like clean your fan. And I thought, well, I don't really need to. And I understand where that could be an issue, but I would be getting issues with other games as well. I'm not getting any problems. Right, it runs a dream. It's not noisy. It's happy sat in the back there. So I don't know. It just ain't going to happen. Just ain't going to happen. Dr. Funtime, how are you? Receiving your one ticket. Welcome. Well done. So anyway, that's my gaming news. That's what I was up to. And still enjoying Dead Island 2. So here's the thing. A friend of mine who is a lawyer, I met him for a coffee about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago. And he's quite a gamer, but he's a very casual gamer. He does love certain games. He has a PlayStation, very much a console gamer. And he loves to meet up for a coffee and talk about what's going on in the gaming world and what have you. And I mentioned he goes away a lot. He goes over to the States. He goes to Europe. He's an IP lawyer, and he works a lot in the media industry and the gaming industry as well. So he was saying, I just wish I could play games when I'm away, and I've been thinking about getting a Steam Deck. And I said, whoa, hang on, check out the Ally. At this point, it was only all available for pre-order. Anyway, look at young Ryan there, bless him. He got in touch with me while I was away, and he said, just wanted to say thank you for your recommendation. My Ally has come, and it is amazing, and I'm loving it, and it's just absolutely perfect for my needs. And I thought, I got to be honest, a little bit of FOMO crept in. I did feel a bit of FOMO. So I bought one. I put my poons doon, and because the thing is, I didn't think I had enough money in my gaming account, and I went and checked, and I'd forgotten that I had some cash coming in from selling my phone, And it did, and I had enough. I'd shared £50 more than I needed. So I ordered it. And I just noticed while I was coming on air, it said $6.99 has been taken from your account, my gaming account. But I noticed this had come out of my gaming account the other day, you see. And then 2 minutes later, it said, you've gone overdrawn. The buggers have taken it out twice. I only want one. I don't want two. What? And I can't afford to do a giveaway of a Rokk Ally. I would otherwise. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I know. Not bad for a man who's only 3 years away from 60. Don't you think? I've seen a lot old. I mean, Elton John, bless him. Did you see Elton John? Poor old fella. I mean, he's actually the same age as my dad. My dad's 80. Well, he's near enough the same age as my dad, but Dad's 80 this October. And I felt that my dad was wobbling about better than Elton. But I went to see Elton John play live a few years now, 15 years ago. And I have always been a massive Elton John fan. I still am. I absolutely adore him. But I was so disappointed with that gig. It genuinely felt like, what is this? Tour of number 23 set list. Goodbye, Norma Jean, Rocket Man, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. It was just like, hello. I paid massive dollar for this. Could we have some interaction? Would I just feeling a little bit unique? I mean, I get it. Even then, he would have been in his 60s, probably. He'd probably had enough at that point. I mean, you imagine playing the same album, the same playlist, the same track list for 50 odd years, and every year he must get a bit, but bless him, his stuff is amazing, he's amazing, and I totally understand. I think it's absolutely the right time for him to bail. He's got a couple of little children they're adopted with his husband, bless them. And I think, he's fast approaching 80. And I could see he was reading lyrics. He was obviously finding it hard to remember all the lyrics anymore. A couple of bum notes on the old piano forte, and, trundling around on the stage. Nobody wants to see, do we? We don't want to see our legends at the end of their lives. We want to remember them, how they were, how brilliant they were. Hey, my 4080 is my backup, says Rockmouth. I'd like a 4080. So anyway, my little ally. Now, there's method in the madness, because a lot of you will remember. You'll be saying it. I can hear you saying it. You'll be saying, Rokk, you bought a Steam Deck, mate. You had it for precisely 1 week. And you sent it back. And it was half the price. And you're absolutely right. Hello? Somebody on the phone? Hello? But this may happen again. I've checked. I've got 30 days to send it back. The reason that I'm really keen on the Ally is that it's a Windows PC, which means technically I should be able to plug it into my lounge TV. As you guys know, that's the thing I like to game at the most. Using my Steam Deck hub. Dorrigan, stop it, mate. Just turn the sound down. Give me your audible focus. I've got an old hub that I bought for the Steam Deck. It should work. USB-C in, USB-C out, HDMI out, couple of USB ports for keyboard and mouse, right? The Ally comes with 512 gigs of RAM, which is the same as the £650 Steam Deck. It's only 50 quid difference at that level. And I can run GeForce Now or Moonlight and OBS at the same time, which I could do that with the Steam Deck, but William, bless you. But with the Steam Deck, it was Linux, and it had a limited amount of RAM and memory, and a much lower powered GPU and CPU. So I've got a 256 gig card, which I'll shove in to give it an extra couple of gig. So that'll get me near to the terabyte. And then even if I run locally, I can run OBS and I can do it in the lounge. So I can do game streaming. It's therefore replacing my Shield Pro. That's how I'm looking at it. So the Ally is going to be a replacement for the Shield Pro, which in its own right was a couple of £100. But of course you can still take it away with you and, go on holiday with it and stuff. So I'm doing it. I've done it. And it looks like I've paid for 2. So I need to chase that up. William, I don't know why it's stuck on there. I genuinely don't. It's been whipping through the... I know what it's doing. It's leaving them on screen till another one replaces it. That's why it's going through so fast. It's a settings thing. I shall sort it out. I hope you are very, very, very well, William. I hope to see you tomorrow, my friend, back on the old Rokk Show. That should be good. With my good friends, Ray, William, and Wilson. So, yeah, that one's coming. I don't know when it's coming. I bought it with a two-day working day delivery, so I'm hoping tomorrow. I know Asus shipped it on Saturday, and it's coming via DPD. So I shall keep you informed. I shall keep you. I'll keep you absolutely in the loop. Hello, Liam. How are you? Good to see you. Don't forget, guys. Where are we on the old contest? 9 minutes left to get your entries in. We've got 17 tickets. And 9 minutes left. So get them in, and that includes you, my lovely subscribers, as well as my fantastic members. And we'll get that underway. We'll get that in there and get it sorted. That's good, isn't it? What else have I got to talk about? I had a fantastic holiday in Cornwall. It was... maybe I'll show you. I'll give you some potted info on Cornwall. Hang on a second, guys. Because, fair enough, not everybody knows. Oh, illegal fishermen put honest fishermen's jobs at risk for greed, says the headline news of the Cornwall Live website. I haven't actually set up Happy Larry, whoever his name is, Simple Larry. Let me go and check him out, man. Check him out, man. Where is he? Larry. Newsbar. There he is. News page. Cornwall. There we go. I'm interested to show you guys all about Cornwall. Oh, we've gone into the old 8-bit modem. Wow. I have to edit this one out of the list. Cornwall map. Wow, this is what it was like all the time. We used to download stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy, I tell you. So let's go and have a quick look over at Simple Larry. I'm just going to give you some info on where I was, just in case, because obviously a lot of you don't know. A lot of you aren't. A big chunk of you are not from these here waters, so it's only fair. Now, there's no music over here because I haven't got the music set up. But you don't mind, do you? It's just me for a second. Yeah, Eddie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. How are you, my friend? Let me just try to get the rest of your message up. Oh, moved Larry by mistake. Oh, where are we? Chat box. There we go. I need to get you up. Great thing. Great Scott. Great thing is playing Fallen Order locally in performance mode on the Ally is just over an hour of gameplay. Yeah, the batteries ain't good, mate, are they? The battery isn't good. I was talking to my daughter's boyfriend who came down to Cornwall with us. He's a bit of a gamer. And we were talking about that. And I said, yeah, and undoubtedly, if you're buying it because you've got a couple of hours, travel to school or work or wherever every day, and you don't have an option to charge it at the other end, or there aren't plugs in the bus or the train or what have you, then the amount of battery life is pretty bad, truthfully. However, I'm guessing you could probably buy additional batteries, but my use case is that I am rarely going to be away from a plug. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. So, yeah. That's kind of what it is. For a powerful Windows device, portable combined with cloud gaming, it's a monster. That's it. For me, I'm looking at this because I was playing Dead Island 2 earlier on this here PC in my studio, but in the lounge via Moonlight on my Shield Pro. So I'm kind of thinking on the Ally, I can cut the PC part out because it is a PC, but I can do all the other stuff, you see. So, yeah, and it's bound to use less juice than this monster with its monitors and everything. So, yeah, I think it'll be good. And, yeah, a decent power bank would be a perfect partner. That's what I'm kind of thinking as well, Eddie, to be honest. Anyway, folks, this here, if we have a look at a map, this little tip, the southern western tip of England, and if I zoom out, you'll see where we are. So here's England, here's Ireland here. Down here are my friends in France, and Spain over here, and Portugal down there. All right. I live there. Hang on. Can you see the little moose? That's where I am. So I zoom in. Here I am. Here I am. That white splodge. That's where I live. Just on the River Exe, which features in Valhalla, by the way. Beaver Myanus. I'm not sure, my friend, if it's ended. Let me go and check. 4 minutes left. There you go. 4 minutes left. Beaver Myanus. What's he like? And so what I do is I get in me little rockmobile, dum dum dum, and then along this road I go do 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 over the northern edge of Dartmoor, home of the Hound of the Baskerville. There we are, past Plymouth. Do 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 do. Here we go down this little road. Do 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 do. Oh no. Where was I going? Oh, where is it? It's, oh, there it is. Yes, Newquay. That's where I was, Newquay. And in fact, even better than that, I was here. Fistral Beach. This was where we were staying. We were staying right there, where my little mouse is. Just there. That's where we were. Parked up in a car park just here. See, I'm giving you all the and there is this massive golf club. Look at this huge green. It's lovely. But Fistral Beach, and if anybody was watching my Discord, I think I put some lovely photos up of Fistral Beach. It is indeed, that's a kind of more rugged side of it. It's very, very famous for surfing. This hotel is called the Headland. It's a Victorian hotel, very late Victorian, I would imagine. As you can see, huge beach, lots of surfing, very gorgeous. But Cornwall's quite a rugged place. You can see it's quite busy there. Look. It's a very rugged place. It's not. It's bereft of trees. There are trees, but there aren't as many as you'd like to see, and it's quite barren, but at the same time, very beautiful. Very gorgeous place. Lots of beaches, all golden, beautiful blue waters, and lovely fishing harbours, and some gorgeous restaurants as well. So that's kind of where we were, and having a very nice time. And we took some paddleboards with us. A wall of corn in Cornwall. Yes. The thing is, the ancient Cornish word for Cornwall is Kernow, Kernow, which I suppose if you say Colonel, it kind of sounds a bit like it. I'm not suggesting that that's why it's called Cornwall, but it is possible. We went to Truro down here. That's the main city of Cornwall, with a lovely cathedral. It was quite odd when we were in Truro, got to be honest with you. We were toddling around in Truro, and there were strange men wearing fishnet stockings and ties and things, and vicars, ladies dressed as men and men dressed as ladies. And all sorts of weirdness. And I thought, look, I'm as liberal as the next person. If this is how they like to do in Truro, who am I to condemn them? And then as we went around the corner, I spotted them all piling out of a theatre, and they'd just been to a live show, which was, of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show. They were dressed up for Rocky Horror. Ha, thought I. That now makes sense. It's funny, isn't it? Because I'm guessing, they're loving it. They're all dressed up, the lipstick and the fishnets and stuff, and they're getting on a bus, not surrounded by anybody else dressed in fishnets and stuff, thinking, maybe this wasn't quite the good idea I thought it was. But when they get to the rest of the fan base, they feel at home and they can do a step to the left if they want to. It's entirely up to them. I personally can't stand Rocky Horror. I absolutely detest it. It's almost as bad, but not quite, as The Sound of Music. The Nazi nuns, as I call it, I absolutely detest. It's so middle class. It's horrible. Up the revolution, brothers. Talking of which, that was a funny old get-go, wasn't it? Friday and Saturday, that mutiny. I've got a theory about the Russian mutiny. I don't think it was a mutiny. I think, here's my 2 minutes worth of theory, and I've put this to the test. A few people have sort of gone, kind of makes sense. So this has been going on, by the way, for a while, with old Kenny, as I call him, Evergenny, I think his first name is Kenny, staging all sorts of social media stuff about how the Russian generals and the top of the military, the top brass, were mucking it up in the Ukraine, and it was not telling Putin the truth, and it was a travesty and blah blah blah. And then he staged this thing where he said a couple of thousand of his men had been bombed, and there was like a load of people lying down in a field with all of their limbs intact, saying, "Look at all my dead men." And then, of course, he toddles off. Friday night, I picked it up quite early, actually, and was watching it all the way through. And, of course, he gets within 2 miles of Moscow, intact, I hasten to add. Yeah, a few helicopters were downed and stuff, but he's got this creaking convoy. Do you remember the convoy that came in towards Kyiv in Ukraine in the early days? Draw is over, guys. We'll get that one in a minute. And it was successfully virtually wiped out, do you remember, by the Ukrainians? And this was before the Ukrainians had been given the latest tech, the latest military tech by America and Germany and Britain and so on. And they managed to destroy a convoy of about 400 miles long or something. So old Kenny marches into Moscow with a few thousand troops, a couple of old tanks on a truck, and everybody's panicking, and we've got to do a deal, let's do a deal. And hey, I tell you what, we'll forgive you all, and Kenny, you can go to Belarus and live in a bungalow and it'll be lovely. By the way, if you didn't know this, he is a billionaire, and not because he did the same thing that most of the oligarchs did in Russia, which was to exploit the natural resources of Russia. His came from a catering firm that basically provides the catering for everything in Russia. The schools, the hospitals, the old folks' homes, the military. He has the contract to provide all the catering across Russia. He's so wealthy, he started the Wagner Group, his own military, his own mercenary group. They're all thick as thieves. He spent 9 years in prison. They're all in the full mafia. So my theory is this. Here's Putin, seeing that the Ukraine war has been an absolute disaster. I mean, absolute, abject disaster. And desperate for a way out. He can't negotiate peace because it looks on his part like he's caved in. He can't bomb it with nukes and stuff because that would just be the end of Russia. How does he get out of this? So the deal is, Wagner, my boy, my chef, you're so angry at the way the war's gone that you march on Moscow demanding the end of the generals and the top brass. Get rid of them. And just outside, we go, okay, don't come any further. You know, we hear your pain, and you've done such a great job. You can have their heads. We'll make them resign. And you go off to Belarus, where, by the way, the Belarusian president is on his last legs. And no doubt Kenny is being lined up as the president of Belarus. And he probably got another couple of billion as well for this escapade. Truth is, of course, none of this is true. So Putin, they all go off and everyone's agreed. He gets rid of his top brass. My guess is this: in a week or two, Putin's going to go, after we got rid of the top brass, I've just discovered they kept all this information from me. I knew nothing about how the Ukraine war was going. This is terrible. We need to have a review. Let's pause all military action until we've had a review. Guys, come home. This is silly. This isn't working out. End of the war. That's it. Boom. And the generals will all lose their heads, of course, because it will be completely blamed on them. Putin will get to live another day. The Wagner boys, well, he's already had his army absorbed into the Russian military. And of course, he carries on being a good mate of Putin and makes a fortune out of it. So my guess is this is a ruse to end the war. And I suspect that they've got to take a little bit of time. Otherwise, it's too freaking obvious. My guess is we're looking at about 8 weeks and it'll be over. They're still they're still fighting. They were still fighting when this thing was happening. But it needs a bit of time because Putin's, he's got to go back and find all the letters in his back office that nobody told him were there. It's a guess, it's a theory, but it ticks a few boxes. Anyway, back to Cornwall. So while we were in Cornwall, we went to an amazing cider factory. It's called Healy's. Here it is. And the gorgeous thing about Healy's is it's a family business. It's been going since 81, I think. They make, and I don't drink, you know that, I don't drink, so it's irrelevant to me. But when I did, and if I occasionally have a sip, it's usually a cider. And they have this brand called Rattlers, which is absolutely everywhere in Cornwall, but it kind of stops at the borders, doesn't go any further. And it was a really good, actually a really interesting trip. I didn't see any of this going on, mind you, dancing and stuff. But yeah, it's a family business. The sons of the original owners are now running it. And it was a really lovely day out. You get to do some sampling of cider. You get to see it all being made. Of course, the idea is that having sampled it, you go and buy it. And my daughter's boyfriend, who's a bit of a cider lover, was gutted to find he bought some Scrumpy and some bottles of cider. Scrumpy is like really basic homemade cider, but it's delicious, appley, very appley. And he paid £6 for this big bottle of Scrumpy. And we stopped off in a supermarket on the way back to our apartment, and it was there for £3. He was gutted. I said, yeah, but it's retail price, mate, isn't it? Full retail price. This, ladies and gentlemen, in the top left corner, is what we call in the UK a cream tea. And it consists of a cup of tea, hence the tea part, but also a scone. Now, this is, for my American friends, a scone is the closest thing, I think you have them in America, but the closest thing to our scone is what you guys have as a biscuit. So when you have biscuits and gravy and so on, it's kind of the closest thing. And we have strawberry jam and cream, as you can see. Some people, there's a little bit of a contest. Some people prefer to have the jam on top of the cream, and some prefer to have the cream on top of the jam. But if you're from Devon and Cornwall, you would have the cream on top of the jam. And lovely hot scone with jam and cream and a cup of tea is a beautiful thing that you will get when you come to my county and the county of Cornwall, because we are neighbours. Isn't that good? Right, I'm going to leave you with a lovely picture of apples while scone or scone, pronounced like stone. No, it's stone if you live in the southeast and you've never made one. Scone if you live in Devon and Cornwall and it is partly your tradition. It's scone, mate. It's scone. That's what it is. It's not scoon. It's not the stone of scoon. But indeed, my American gran used to often offer a biscuit and gave me a roll. I was very confused. Yeah, because we call cookies biscuits in the UK, which is where the confusion lies, whereas you guys call them cookies, obviously, and your biscuits are much more of a savoury thing. But you can have savoury scones as well. And I know it's spelled like a scone, but it's, Southeast Londoners, Southeast people, they say scone. But it's the word cone with an S. No, it's not, my friend. It is scone. Scone. There are some interesting dialections. I mentioned to you earlier, my friend the solicitor, for example. He used to work for a Cornish law firm called Stevens and Scone, and in that case, scone was spelt SCOWN. Cornish, you see. That's what it is. That's what it is. You could call it scone if it makes you happy, but it ain't how it's pronounced down here where they come from. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. Let's get the wheel underway, shall we, lovely folk? To do the wheel, I need to go into studio mode and add all of you wonderful folk. Oh, hang on. It says here there's 28 seconds. No, it's ended. Let me grab Dorrigan, who's right at the very top of the list, all the way down to Beaver My Anus, who is at the bottom of the list, where he deserves to be. Let me pull up the wheel with the entrance in. There it is. And I shall add them all in. Here we are. Yep. There they go. Wonderful. Good. Right, I think we're good. So let me just double check. Yep, that's all good. Let's get down to the Wheel of Fortune, where we have some music playing, please. There we go. Look at that. It's a working. I don't know why all of the chats have been down, deeper and down. Haha, a scone in front of me is definitely scone. He's got it. The man has got it. If you remember that, you'll never get it wrong. A scone is scone. Absolutely. That's how it works. Right. So, let's see. Shall we spin-a-rooney the old wheel? Let's do it, shall we? Let's get the first one up. Where are we this week? Friday. Now, I'm away Thursday and Friday. Again. I'm sorry. I know. Last week I was away because it was my youngest's birthday. And this week I'm away for a couple of days because it's my eldest's birthday. I know that the 4 years apart, but 10 days their birthdays are apart. So I don't know what I'm going to do because it's the last Friday of the month. I'm not going to be around Thursday. We may have to do Wednesday as the big prize draw for members this week. Because tomorrow's Rokk Show and I'm not around Thursday and Friday. So we may have to do that, I'm thinking. I'll have a little look and see what I've got in my bag of games. Anyway, here we all are. How many have we got? 164. I hope I've got everybody in the wheel. So let's give it a spin and see who is going to win. Let's be honest, you've missed this, haven't you? You've missed me. Be honest, come on. You're amongst friends. I missed you. Right. Is it going to be Phipps today, who was in the chat earlier? I think it is. I think it's going to be Phipps. Well done, Phipps. Awesome. Let me just write this down. Phipps is on a bit of a streak, you know. Well done, my friend. Right, let me close that one and I'll bring up this one and we'll see what young Phipps, all the way in Deutschland, is going to take home today. Here we go. Well done, Phipps. Right, let's spin and see what game Phipps is going to win today. Do-do-do. Dooby-doo. Do-do-do. Ba-ba-da. Here we go. I've left Horizon in there, by the way, because I'm quite happy to award it again. But in this case, young Phipps is going to win Hextone Bundle. This is actually a bundle of games under the Hextone brand. So I will dig those out for you, Phipps. And Phipps was in Great Expectations, wasn't he? No, I know that was Pip. That was young Pip. I loved the recent adaptation of Great Expectations. Came in for a lot of stick. But it was Stephen Knight who wrote, I believe I'm right in saying, Peaky Blinders and C on Apple. He is a genius writer. And I thought he did an amazing job of adapting it. It was very much an adaptation. So don't come to it thinking you're getting the absolute Dickensian Great Expectations. You're kind of getting Great X. And the rest of it is Steve Knight. But he's an awesome we go. How was that? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So we've got a few minutes left. Anybody got anything they want to discuss on this Chill Out Monday? Do we do Chill Out Mondays? We were going to do multiplayer Mondays, weren't we? I forgot that. Never really did get off the ground. I was having tech issues. And I'm still not 100% sure if I've remedied them. So I'm kind of nervous. I might end up doing it all on the Ally. If you've got nothing to tell me, I might just let you go. Because I'm intrigued. I want to go and find out why Asus has charged me twice for the Ally. I only want one. Because I've just spent 1,300 quid. Or 1,400. 1,398, I believe. That's a lot of dosh. Hey, Martinez! How's it going, Josiah? Good to see you, Sire. Good to see you, Sire. Oh, we got new music. I just thought, actually, I don't know that I've got the new music set up in the other wheel rooms. Oh, to do this. Hang on, let me grab this music from somewhere. What do we normally have? We have Closing Out, which doesn't have. We have outro credits, don't we? That's where we have the music. So I'm just going to do this while we're talking. I don't see it as a problem. I've been watching quite a few streamers actually while I'm off. It's become. I don't know if you guys are like this. There was a time. There we go. That should be good. There was a time when I never watched YouTube. It just wasn't a thing I did, right? Doing good. Sent you some pictures of the tornado damage. Oh, yeah. Josiah's had tornado damage. He was telling me about a school bus that flipped over. Hit a mine or something. Not like a improvised explosive device mine. You know, like an old mine with the seven dwarfs in kind of thing. Pretty nasty, man. We don't get that kind of thing down here. We're very lucky. Worst thing we get is onslaught of tourists. That causes quite a disruption. We love you, tourists. You're lovely. We love you. Please come. Please keep coming. What was I saying when I rudely interrupted myself? I can't remember now. It's all gone. It's gone out of my head. But yes, something. Oh, Great Expectations. Yeah, it's. I think it's a real shame. There's been a movement over the last couple of years where colour and gender have become interchangeable. And there's been some kick-up about it. You wouldn't have got it a few years before 2016, but you do post-2016. We're in what they call the post-truth and the culture war phase. And the most recent one, I guess, was probably The Little Mermaid. But Great Expectations did a similar thing, or Steve Knight did. But my wife has a really brilliant philosophical way to look at this, and she just says, and I think she's absolutely right, you know, we're in 2023, and what we should be thinking about is not what colour or gender the actor is, but just their acting skill, their acting ability. It shouldn't matter. And truth is, isn't it, you can watch, for example, I started to watch Platonic, which is Seth Rogen on Apple. It's actually quite good. It's quite funny. It's quite a good kind of relationship comedy, rom-com. And the lead actress, whose name escapes me, is actually Australian. Very, very good actress. The chemistry between them both is amazing. Now, occasionally, 2 points. Nobody's going, hang on, she's meant to be American. Why are they employing Australians? Especially when you look at most shows these days, there's at least one Australian or one British actor playing an American. But equally, she occasionally wanders into her original Australian accent. And it kind of annoys me a bit. But again, my wife says, yeah, but you have to work beyond that. It's about her acting and the relationship. She's so right. She's so right. And that's got to be our future, hasn't it? We've got to get beyond that. Stop seeing people for the colour of their skin or their hair or their height or their gender or their, whatever it is that's different. We have to get beyond that and just see them as humans. And I know that's a bit we are the world and, flower power. But I think, personally, we're getting to the end. There's been a far-right explosion, largely driven by the likes of Putin and some far-right Christian fundamentalists and some far-right tech billionaires. But it's largely been destroyed. Fascism never exists for too long. It can't do. It's just such an extremist ideology. It never hangs around for too long. It appeals to angry people and libertarians, in a world where for them profit is everything, and even things like medical care, if it can't turn a profit, it's wrong. And my belief is there are some things in a society that go above profit. There are some things in a society that you should provide irrespective of the cost. That doesn't mean that it should have a rampant cost, or indeed that greed should extract as much from it as possible. But to try and make everything hit either a break-even or a profit in a society, for things like medical care, care of the elderly, infrastructure, there are things that society without them just falls apart. And that, if that makes me a socialist, then so be it. It doesn't make me a Soviet, though. Tim Roth acted so well in Reservoir Dogs, but butchered the accent. Yeah, I know. And it's hard, isn't it? But you do kind of have to get beyond that. You're absolutely right. Josiah said, I don't mind British playing Americans, but Americans playing British. That's funny, isn't it? There are few Americans that can do a really good British accent, but the ones that do are amazing. I'm thinking recently, I'll tell you who does one of the best accents of a Brit who isn't British, and I'm not going to even try and pronounce her name, is the lady in Outlander, she was also in Belfast, the movie. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous actress who is actually very, very Irish, and yet her accent as a British woman in Outlanders is perfection. It is absolutely perfect. Another one is, I've forgotten his name now, the guy that plays Tommy in Peaky Blinders does a fantastic Brummie accent, and he's Irish. What's his name? Kieran? Just superb. But it's very, very hard to do. It's even hard for English people to do certain English accents. So yeah, she is great. I know she is. She is stunning. She's a really good actress as well, Josiah. Just a great actress. Everything I've seen her in, she's owned it. And it's hard when you become used to seeing somebody. I think they're on their 8th and final season of Outlanders. You see somebody for like 9 or 10 years playing the same character. It's difficult. It's difficult to see them as someone else. But it took a little while to recognise her in Belfast. Very, very good. Anyway, you lovely folk, I can't believe I managed to stretch that 10 minutes. It's great to be back, and it's even better to be back with you. So thank you so much, you lovely, lovely folk. Tomorrow, of course, it's Rokk Show with... I actually don't know. I haven't heard from the gang since I broke up to go off on my holidays. So I will find out later. I'm hoping we'll have the normal crew back tomorrow. But I'll certainly be there, even if it's me on my own, and I'm sure it'll all work out for the best. In the meantime, thank you for joining. I'll get in touch with Phipps. I don't think Phipps is in the chat anymore. And let him know that he's won Hextone bundle. Or Hexton, of course, because you could pronounce it like scone. Hexton, couldn't you? I will see you wonderful folk tomorrow. Cheers, Rokk. Hope you have a good evening. And you too, Eddie, my friend. I can't wait to get that ROG. I must get on to ASUS and find out why they've charged me for 2 of them. But I shall let you all know. Have a great one. And I will, of course, see you all tomorrow. Take care. Rock out.